Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here. And today, look, I know some of you are rooting for the asteroid. I'm just going to get that out of the way. But let's talk about how we defend the Earth from an asteroid strike. Now, there's a really interesting write-up on this in the AFP. And if you didn't know, we've got an asteroid heading towards us, and there's a very small chance that that asteroid is capable of basically hitting us and taking out an entire city in less than 8 years. So even if this asteroid is hurtling our way, we're now able to defend ourselves against this threat in a way we've never been able to defend ourselves before. In other words, we've been working on it. Now, the odds, for the record, of the recently discovered asteroid that essentially is supposed to potentially hit the Earth on December 22nd, 2032, was originally slated at 1%. That has now risen to 3.1%, according to NASA the other day. And basically, that is the highest probability for an impact by such a large space rock in modern forecasting. So, astronomers gather more data. This is what they're constantly doing. And here's what's essentially going to happen. The odds of a direct hit are widely expected to edge upwards before rapidly dropping down to zero. Remember, this thing is far away, and they essentially are predicting basically its path and projecting to say, okay, we have this wide space of where this asteroid's going to go. There's a 3.1% chance it's going to hit the Earth. But the closer it gets, the more accurate the path is going to be. And so they're going to say, yeah, this is going to be a total miss. And so by virtue of it, it can go up to 5% and then drop to zero once they've confirmed. But there is a chance right now that this asteroid is going to hit us. And so in that unlikely event, basically, assuming the probability keeps rising to 100%, we're not actually defenseless. And so here are some of the ways that humanity could essentially deflect or destroy this asteroid. And for the record, it's known as 2024 YR4. That's potentially the death of a city. And here we go. First things first, we can just smash a spacecraft into it. Simple enough. Now, one of the planetary defense strategies has been actually tried out. We tried this out a couple of years ago in 2022. NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, deliberately smashed a spacecraft into a 160-meter wide dimorphous asteroid, successfully altering its orbit around a larger space rock. Now, that asteroid was that we discovered back in September is about 40 to 90 meters wide, which is about half the size of the one that we tested it on. So we know that that actually works. And if the spacecraft partially destroyed the asteroid instead, it could send chunks of itself flying off that would still basically be heading towards Earth, but could do a wider area damage, but less damage overall. In other words, a single asteroid, hitting, I don't know, Chicago, Paris, take your pick, would wipe it out. But a few different chunks of this thing hitting different places on the Earth could wipe out smaller areas or hit smaller areas, but it wouldn't be that bomb dropping, we just lost Chicago kind of thing. On top of it, we have other options, because the next option that's being floated is either tractor beams, ion beams, paint, that kind of stuff. So a separate idea called a gravity tractor involves a large spacecraft basically flying near the asteroid and, without touching it, using its gravitational pull to tug it away from Earth. In other words, you're basically kind of getting in that orbit and you're nudging it the way you want to go without touching it. Now, another non-contact plan would be to put a spacecraft near the asteroid armed with thrusters that would exert a constant stream of ions to essentially shove the asteroid off course. And scientists have also considered spray painting one side of the asteroid white, which increases its reflectiveness so it slowly changes trajectory. In other words, it's catching more ionizing particles, et cetera, and so it's slowly moving away from its target. Obviously, that would take a long time, and those subtler strategies would require reaching the asteroid much sooner than, let's say, it getting much close to our orbit for these types of options. Now, the other option we have is the tried and true military way. Why don't we just nuke it? Let's just nuke the asteroid. We could just basically blow it up, shoot a missile up there. So rather than drilling a nuclear weapon deep into the asteroid, if you remember Armageddon, that was the whole point of that movie, is you're going to go to an asteroid, you're going to drill, you're going to nuke it. This would basically just be detonating a bomb nearby. So last year, researchers here in the United States tested out this theory on a marble-sized mock asteroid in the lab and found that the X-rays from a nuclear blast would vaporize its surface and then basically send it shooting in a different direction. So in other words, we don't actually have to get the bomb in this thing. We just have to nuke the side of it. It's going to vaporize a good chunk of it, and the rest of it's just going to go spinning off in a different direction. And Lord knows, we just had an ICBM missile launch here in the United States as a test, literally within the last 24 hours or so of me talking about this. And so we've got the nukes to spare. With that, the other option they've got is lasers. Who doesn't love lasers? Scientists love lasers too, because that's a less dangerous but similar line. Another idea would be to basically shoot one giant laser basically from a spacecraft to vaporize the side of the asteroid, and therefore pushing it away due to the intensity of the laser. Lab experiments suggest this is viable, but it's not one of the top techniques that essentially all the scientists everywhere working on this are looking at. So, and here's the thing, if all else fails, again, we are going to know that it's basically the size of taking out a city. We're going to know where that's going to hit. They're going to have that calculation to say, as the world spins, it's going to hit here. Maybe it's in the ocean, creating massive tsunamis all over the place. Maybe it is going to hit Paris. Who knows, right? But the point is that if we know that ahead of time, then we can plan for that. Meaning, if it's going to hit a body of water and potentially cause a tsunami, and let's say the Pacific Rim or the Atlantic or whatever, we can evacuate coastal areas. We could evacuate Paris or Chicago or whatever, knowing that the strike date is known and where it's going to hit specifically and precisely is going to be known sooner and sooner. So there you go. That's all the ways that we can take care of an asteroid. One is coming to Earth, and for those of you rooting for it, I hope you don't get your way. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private and asteroid free. Take care.